Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. We're back for part 6 of growing a baobab from seed. Growing a baobab from seed reminds me when I first started these acacia trees, and they're doing really well. There's my elephant in there. And these were growing from seed, and it was very exciting seeing them germinate and grow and get their first trimming. And they're doing really well, and later today we'll be trimming them once again. The exciting news today is that my baobab trees are showing the first signs of growing. Let's go have a look at them. It's extremely hot and humid today, and there's a good chance it'll rain later today. So here's my pot with the baobabs, and you can see right down here, you can see the green leaves starting to poke up out of the soil. So there's just one so far, and I'm keeping it quite dry. I haven't watered it. I did mist it just slightly this morning. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. That's good news that the baobab trees are just starting to poke their heads out of the soil. I'll keep track of them over the next few days, and hopefully all 4 will come up. I'm having a look at my acacia trees today, and I've got 2 kinds of acacias in this planting. There's fever trees and there's sweet thorn. I'm looking at the planting today, and I have to decide what direction I want to go with the styling of these trees. Right now it kind of looks like an acacia grove with the elephant in there, and I've got to kind of decide what I'm going to do with these trees. Do I want one as just a specimen tree that'll grow the flat top canopy? Do I want them all to have flat top canopies, in which case they wouldn't all fit in this pot? So these are some of the things I got to consider in going forward with this planting. I'll put the planting on my spinning tree bonsai turntable, and then we can have a look at it from all directions. So here I go. And back to the front. It's midsummer now, so if I prune the trees, there's lots of time for them to recover and grow for the rest of the summer. So it's a good time to kind of get your trees back under control a little bit. This planting is taking up a lot of space on the bench. I was inside and I, Googled pictures of acacia forests or acacia groves, and I was looking at the pictures of them, and you can have some tightly packed trees and still have that kind of flat top canopy. I'm trying to decide what to do today. I think I want to prune. You can see some of these branches just run from this tree all the way across the entire planting and up out the back. So I think I want to get the trees kind of pruned to individual trees so they're not, spreading out over the whole planting. Get them more compact, I guess, and try and get a more compact canopy on them. And eventually I probably will separate some of the trees and grow them by themselves. So to have, the start of a canopy somewhere up here. So if this is the scale of my elephant, my giraffes can probably reach somewhere up here. So I've got to keep that in mind. I do have some giraffes that I could put in this planting. Maybe I'll get them out and we'll just see how high they can reach. I've got all my African animals in here. It looks kind of funny. But there's the giraffe, and you can see what height the giraffe can reach up to. So I don't want too much foliage below that level. So I'll keep that in mind when I'm pruning. I'll begin the pruning now, pruning back my longest branches to make them more compact. I'll start with this branch coming out front here. You can see it starts from the base of the tree down there, and it grows out and divides, and it's really long. So I've got a lot of foliage back here, so I could prune it back as short as I want and it would still grow fine. So I've got to pick a place to prune it back to. The branch grows out from the base of the trunk, and then it subdivides out here. So I think I want to keep some of that subdividing, so I'll prune it back to about here. So here I go. I'll start with this one. I'll keep some green foliage on it there and just prune it back here. Taking that V shape off. And then the one below it, I'll prune it back to, I think, here. Taking that back, making that whole branch more compact. Next, I'll rotate the planting around, and I've got this branch coming down from quite low, and it comes out and it's quite long. So I don't mind these branches dividing down lower as long as they kind of become upright trunks. So I can see I pruned it here once and here once. So I think I'm going to go back quite far this time. I'm going to go back to here, like that. I'll continue pruning. The thorns on these acacias, they're quite small, but they're just wickedly sharp. So you've got to really be careful when you're pruning them. There's a branch here I can prune back to there. This one back to here. I'm going to go right back to here with this branch. Like that. There's a long branch here that I can prune back to. So I'll continue pruning all these long branches, getting the trees more compact, and we'll come back and have a look at it. Here's a look at the foliage that I've taken off. So a fair amount. And I'll make sure I compost this in a safe spot where no one will step on the thorns, because they'll go right through your shoes. They're really deadly. I'm out front now, having a look at the forest after the pruning. I think it's coming along quite well. The overall silhouette of the forest looks quite nice. The trees are all more compact. Once the new branches start growing in, after you prune trees like this, they'll get all kinds of back buds and it'll come out with a vengeance. So it should be quite interesting to see these, you know, towards the end of summer. They should be quite full and bushy, which is good. I want to encourage more branching, and that gives you more branches to choose from when you finally kind of lock down the styling of the tree. Right now, these are kind of in between seedlings and a bonsai tree, so they're, you know, in development, but they certainly, each tree doesn't have its own style set in stone or anything. They're just kind of growing branches at the moment and thickening the trunks up and, you know, just developing as bonsai. Here's an elephant's eye view of the planting. I'll just rotate it around so you can see it from all angles. Looking through the forest at the elephant. Boy, if I ever saw a male elephant like this in a forest, I would run. That rock's there just to prop some of the trees up that were leaning over. I could probably take it away, but I'll leave it there a little longer. And we're back to somewhere around the front. It's time now for today's update. Today's update brings us over to the bench over here. And with all this hot and humid weather we've been getting lately, I've noticed that on the ficus, I've been getting a lot of aerial roots growing. So I keep them misted. I try and keep them, you know, I spray them probably 6 to 8 times a day, trying to keep this trunk wet at all times. And it really encourages aerial roots to grow in this hot, humid weather. But that's not the tree we're going to be working on today. It's my Schefflera, my Dwarf Schefflera, or Schefflera arbicola. And the problem with this tree, it's growing really, really well, but it's really hard to water. If you look down even at, you know, eye level with the tree here, you can't really see in here. So I'm going to have to remove a lot of these lower branches and leaves so I can get in at the tree and water it. I've been trying to get underneath the tree with the misting bottle and keep it humid under here to get more aerial roots to grow. I don't see any yet, but I'll keep trying. I'm going to come in now and prune off all these lower leaves so I can see into the planting more. So anything hanging down, I'll prune off. I'll just do the leaves for starters. And then maybe if it's still too low, I might have to come in and prune some branches. So I'm just taking leaves off that are pointing downwards. Usually you're pruning the top of the tree, and today I'm pruning the bottom of the canopy. I'm looking in at the soil here and I can see it's been underwatered. It's really hard to get the watering can in here. And when I water from above, it drips somewhere down the trunk, but not all over the surface of the soil. So I don't think it's being watered evenly. I think after I clear all these branches out, it should grow better because I can get the watering can in there and water it properly. I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to unload this entire 2-liter watering can on top of the Schefflera, and I'll position the camera underneath, and I want to see where all the water goes. All right, here I go, a 2-liter rainstorm coming up, starting right now. And I'll spread the watering can all over the canopy here to kind of water it evenly from above. And you can see what happens down there and how quickly or how slowly it takes to reach the ground. Okay, that's 2 liters there. I'm just going to feel around in the pot and see if it got evenly watered or not. It seems pretty good, at least the moss is damp on top. I'll have to review the video and just check what's going on. As this tree grows larger over the years, you can see that the branches at the side here will get longer. And slowly, the lowest foliage, it's a butterfly, will get higher and higher. So eventually you'll be able to see in at the trunks more clearly as it gets older. So that's why, I'm in no rush to get this canopy pruned too high on it, because I want to grow it slowly so I get all that movement and taper in the branches. The Schefflera is growing really healthy. It's a really nice green color. The foliage looks just fantastic on it, so it's good to see it growing well in the summer. My next update is way down here, and it's my asparagus fern, and it's in flower. So you can see down here, see the little white flowers? There they are. And they'll turn into red berries by fall. The flowers have a really nice scent to them too. I'm trying to describe it here. I'll smell it again. Oh, I don't know. It's just a sweet, beautiful smell. And these are considered a weed in most places. So there's kind of the trunk of it. So hopefully I'll get more flowers on it and then all those little red berries for fall. It's nice to show them like that with the red berries on them. They look really cool. Another bonsai of mine that's in flower is my Nightshade. And you can see way up top here, there's some little purple flowers just about to come out. So that's pretty cool. My Virginia creeper here has grown up and it's attached itself to one of the elm branches above. And it's growing way up here. And you can see the growing tip out here now. So it's doing really well. This fall, I'm going to look along my fence line. I have a lot of these Virginia creepers growing along the fence. And I'm going to look for a nice big thick trunk on one of them. I think I should be able to find something really nice. And I'll put it in a pot and grow it as a bonsai. I'm still getting these Japanese beetles on my elm tree. You can see it right there. So I get them on my elm and my small leaf linden tree over here. I've just been picking them off and giving them to the chickens. The chickens have developed quite a liking for them, which is good. So I'll get rid of that one and it'll be gone. I catch the beetles in this little brass cup. I just stick it underneath them, kind of shake it, and they usually fall off. Oh, it flew away. Shoot. Usually they fall off in the nighttime. They don't fly, but that one did. So I'll have to, hopefully it won't come back, but if it does, I'll feed it to the chickens. I don't see any more beetles. They make a really satisfying crunch sound when the chickens eat them. I hate killing anything, but those things are really destructive. Our little robin is getting close to being released. There's supposed to be a rainstorm tonight, so we're going to wait until after the rainstorm. And this is my wife's latest creation. It's a raised garden bed, and then it's all screened in up top. And then she's made access doors, so you can see how that opens up. You can get into it. There's a door here on the side. There'll be two on the front here that swing open, and there's more doors. There's another one on this side right here, and it's just held closed with a little latch, and there's another one back here, so you can get at all sides of the raised bed. And we have to do this because we have so many rabbits in the backyard that they eat everything. My wife first tried just the raised bed, but they get right up in. They just jump up and eat everything. So here's little Robin in his screened-in house here. Hi, Robin. Where are you? Oh, there he is. Oh, he's flying. Hi. We're just going to come in and see you. Hello, Robin. How are you? How you doing, little fella? Yeah. Hello. Are you hungry already? Okay, we'll get you some food. Yeah, so I think he's ready. He can fly, and he hears all the other robins around here. And he just kind of cocks his head to the side and says, oh, I bet you I'd love to be out there with the other robins, I think. And I've read that robins take care of each other. So a young bird like this, there'd probably be another robin that would help him out. Teach him how to look for worms and all that kind of stuff. Because there certainly won't be any dog food out in the wild, will there, Robin? No, there won't. So, yeah, I'll try and record us releasing him probably tomorrow, I think. It'll be sad, but poor little Robin. Out on his own, I think he'll be much happier when he can fly around and find his own food anytime. Right, Robin? And you can always come back and visit us if you get too hungry. Okay? All right. My last update for today is my Austrian pine. And you can see the needles are growing longer on it. And it's starting to look better. It's more in scale with the spacing of the branches. And that's something you have to keep in mind when you're developing a tree, is the amount of distance between each branch. If you have them too close, these branches will interfere with the ones above. And if they're too far apart, it'll look strange. I think the spacing of the branches on this tree are quite good. They're kind of a nice distance apart, so there's some separation even with the needles grown in long like this. If we look at the branch tips, you can see the buds already forming for next year. You can see a central bud at the tip of each branch. And I imagine, you know, towards fall, you'll probably see more buds forming around the branch tips. It'll usually get, you know, 2 or 3 buds at each tip by the time spring rolls along. That's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone. Here we are at A&A Automotive to check in on the truck.
Yeah, he's got the welcome blanket there, so yeah, just my wife.
That looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, he cut some of the bad pieces out there, welded in, welded in some new metal.
Yeah, that was getting pretty thin, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that looks good, mate. That's great.
Okay, thanks. I guess the best way for me to do that is really like that, I guess. Yeah. the cracks kind of coming in through over there.
Yeah.
It kind of goes through the body mount location itself, and kind of ends up on the other side. And I guess you can kind of almost see if I got the
right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see where that's kind of cracked.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that'll be a matter of notching it out and welding that all back up.
Oh, I can see it open up there, mate.
Let's see. Oh yeah, so maybe it could be too, just because it's been split. So I'll try welding it up and seeing what happens there, and then yeah.
Now people have been asking about your Canadian accent.
Oh my Canadian accent. I don't know. I don't even know if I had a Canadian
Where
accent.
were you born and raised?
I guess Clinton, Ontario.
Clinton, Ontario. Okay.
Yeah. I've lived. So from Clinton, from Clinton, I lived in Dashwood. I've lived in Zurich for a little bit, like Zurich, Ontario.
Yeah.
Not like, yeah.
Not Switzerland.
No, yeah, exactly. And then, so I went to school in Exeter for a couple of years, high school, and then I went to school in Mitchell for a couple of years. So
Okay.
I'm kind of all around that
in
area.
this area, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's weird too though, because like I even when I went out east, I guess I more so fit in out east, but
It sounds like a bit of a out east accent. But
yeah. So I don't know. I guess
well, someone made a comment that said you can't get a more Canadian accent than that.
yeah, no doubt. Well, I guess I also say quite a bit. So yeah, it's
for sure, eh?
Yeah, I got I guess I got quite the accent. I never really even thought about it, but yeah.
Oh.
We'll go up underneath here and I'll show you.
All right.
So basically, kind of and it's a little easier to kind of see now, right? So basically, all up in here, like this brace is about cracked in about 3 different spots up here.
See. Oh, that one there. Okay.
Yep, right here. So up in and around here, it's kind of split in a few different spots.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm going to take that angle iron and I'm going to go from the bottom of the bed floor here to the brace and just go straight across with it.
Okay.
Just to kind of really stiffen it up, because what's obviously going on. See how it's like just ever so slight. Yeah, so just trying to do whatever I can to avoid from that, but at least
you got your metal pieces cut out for the repairs there.
Yeah, I think this one was just a scrap piece.
Okay.
Yeah. So I added the one piece there already.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then
That looks good.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, it should be alright from there. This one I might have to do a little bit more.
Right in the corner there.
Yeah, just a bit of patchwork in the corner, just for everything to kind of tie in. You know, raise and do what I gotta do, and then either finish welding at that point, double check a few things, and go from there.
That sounds good. All right.
Yeah, so first
That is a plan. The exciting news today is that my baobab trees are showing the first signs of life. Not life. I think I've got to prune away, I don't know. Cut. Today's update brings us over to this bench here. And with this hot, humid weather we've been, you can see the new buds forming for next year at the very tips here.